So just to kind of start with a little astrological backdrop, the moon is in Virgo. And so with Virgo, we do a lot of processing. We do a lot of internal work. And so it's just constantly like trying to kind of take in what's been happening in our lives, because wow, it's almost like a trauma's happened, you know, it's been so disruptive, and maybe for some of you more than others. So this is kind of a time where you might be called to be a little reflective and internal. You might be more tired just because, again, like you're accumulating and digesting and assimilating all the experiences that you've been having. So that can be tiring for some of us, right? That can be kind of a lot. You might feel like your mind is a little bit kind of maybe overstimulated, or just feels like sometimes it just needs a break from all that. So simplification can be very helpful during these times, kind of really, and that's a bigger theme, right, that we're dealing with the Taurus cycle, which is how do we let go of excess of things that we thought we needed, but really when we really check in, we don't need them. So how do we take away that excess, and how do we keep what's really fulfilling, what's really nutrient dense for us, what is really fulfilling and gratifying to our souls. So this is a good time to really kind of weigh in what again you can take off your plate, because there's nothing you can do about it, or it's just not that helpful, or you don't know. So it's like a good time to simplify. And so it's also a time as we digest, right, and assimilate, that we really put into place those practices so that we keep the things that are really meaningful. I know for me, I've been reflecting a lot about this time and about the things that I've loved about it, the slow pace, the time that I've had to do things that I maybe haven't given myself permission for. And really trying to remember that the world's going to want us to go back into the way it was, right? We're going to, there'll be a collective energy that says, let's just go back to what we know. And there'll also be a thread of energy that's going to invite us into a new way of being, right? In which those things that we value stay important to us. So if that slow pace you found to be really helpful, more sleep, more focus on being outside, being in nature, cooking, right? How do we keep those things in place so that we don't lose them and lose that progress of these new invitations and just go back to what's familiar? So this is a good time as we simplify to know what practices are really helping you stay grounded and connected. So this is also a good time to kind of think about that and to maybe make some commitments to that. So how we'll work with that today is we're going to be doing some twisting, because twisting is really great for digesting and assimilating, right? And I think about as I twist, and I'll ask you to think about as we twist today, letting go of what doesn't serve us and bringing in, again, that new sense of energy that's going to invite us into new ways of being. So we're going to twist a little bit. We're also going to open the front body, especially the front of the hips, so that we can be empowered towards those new paths, right, that call us towards new places of creativity, new directions, or being more intuitively guided through our core. So that's going to be the hip flexor area. So I'll ask as we do that hip opening that you really work to soften this area, so it's not a forceful kind of opening, but it's more of the breath-centered, softening, dilating, kind of that sense as we open through the front of the hips. And then we're also going to kind of stress the shoulders, right? Holding a lot of past stuff here in our shoulders, right, as our foundations are changing. So let's just kind of take off that unnecessary stuff that we shoulder. And as that comes up and through emotional feelings, through physical things that show up in our shoulders, we can just kind of breathe and just allow it to go up, to kind of move out, right? Like we can just intend that we're not going to carry around old stuff. So that's kind of the practice today. Let go of the shoulder tension and the neck tension so that we can find more ease. Open through new ways. Let go of the old, open to the new. So hopefully that will feel good in your bodies. So let's find a comfortable seat. And if you can sit in Virasana, like I'm sitting, great. And if not, just cross-legged, it's fine. So my knees are together and my ankles are wide so that I can have the top of my feet flat and the heels outside my hips. So I'm going to give you guys a spritz of forest walk. If you have that, spritz yourself. If not, just allow yourself to take in the feeling of being in the forest, right? So being in that sense of clarity, of connection, just taking in the wisdom of the forest, right? The perspective. So close your eyes or soften your gaze and begin to just breathe and check in. So just attuning to what you can sense in your body. That might be physical information that you get, emotional, mental, energetic. Kind of checking in with how you're processing what's been happening in our lives. Has it been graceful? Has it been stressful? Has it been a lot of everything? And really allowing yourself that compassionate presence to know that we all process so differently and that we all need different things as we process. So letting this yoga mat be a time to connect to yourself, to rejuvenate yourself, to give yourself lots of space to move your body in ways that help you process these times. So we're going to take a deep breath and we're going to bring the shoulders up to our ears, and then we're going to exhale and let it go as we press the shoulders down away from our ears. Inhale breath, bring them up. Exhale breath, drop them down and away, like you're holding on to something heavy in your hands. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. 2 more. And then 1 more. Now roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Big shoulder rolls. Taking deep breaths. Exhaling maybe through your mouth. And then go the opposite direction. Go back up and forward, really moving the scapula. So you could even pin the shoulders together and then round them forward. Loosening up. And then just kind of shimmying them up, down, just kind of moving them around. Just kind of shaking it out. And then we're going to round the upper back and the shoulders so you can kind of lean back, let your head go, chin tuck into the chest. I'm grabbing the top of my knees. I'm just kind of moving your head as you breathe into the back of the shoulder blades, back of the heart. And then as you breathe in, letting the hands maybe come to the small of the back or just reach back, open up through the heart space, broaden across the chest. And then leaning over to your right and letting your head kind of fall towards your right shoulder. Maybe the left arm comes up and over. Breathing through that whole lateral side of your body, even the left side of the neck. So you might turn your head to face down or just let your head be heavy. Letting that left sitting bone feel like it just gets heavy and weighted, even if it lifts off your block or the floor. Then let the hand come first. So you do a little neck release. So broaden out through your thumb and pinky line. Take a big breath and broaden out through your left chest, collarbone area. Big breath into the chest, back. And then taking your right hand, lift your head and slowly reorient. And then leaning to the left, take a little side stretch. Just check it out first, then maybe the left arm follows, head follows. Remember, you can look down if that's a better position for your neck. Letting the right sitting bone get heavy away from the right ribs and lungs. And then dropping the right arm for a neck release. So broaden across the thumb and pinky line. And then let your right collarbone feel like it dissipates out from the front of the chest. Lots of good breathing into that upper back area. And then kind of use the weight of your hand to pull your body up, left arm to the temples to the left. Breathing in and breathing out. So we're going to do a little shoulder rotation and neck turn. So your neck's just going to do this. It's going to turn to the left. It's going to turn to the right without coming forward, okay? And then we're going to add, so as our palm comes towards our body and we look towards our bicep, look towards the right, then reach your right arm and away as you turn to your left. So we're just kind of moving the arms, turn towards your bicep, turn away. And if the arms aren't working today for you or that bothers your neck, just turn your head and breathe. So inhale, exhale. Long through your spine, inhale, broaden that right scapula. Exhale, You're turning the arm at the root. So right where it enters the shoulder socket, one more. And then hold as you turn your arm in. So let that left shoulder drop, let the shoulder on the right kind of lift a bit. One more breath, shake out your head if it gets taut. And then turn it out and away and hold here, palm facing back. Right shoulder heavy. And then come to neutralize. Shake out. You can even lean over to the right a bit and just kind of let your arm be heavy. And then we're going to go with the left side. So again, we're just looking towards our left shoulder, looking away. So as we breathe in, we're going to look towards our left bicep. As we breathe out, we turn away. And I'm rotating the arm in, rotating it out. Breathing nice and deep, more than anything, just breathing as we pay attention to the neck. Breathing, moving at a soft, slow pace. Couple more, and then we're gonna hold. So next time you breathe in, just hold. If you can drop the right shoulder, broaden to the right scapula. Try and find some softness in your neck, and then turn out and away, letting that left shoulder drop, right collarbone broaden. And then coming back to center. We're gonna turn and twist to the right. So left hand outside the right thigh, right hand to the small of the back. And then allow your shoulders to broaden and sink down. And then just turn from inside the belly, from behind the belly button. Imagine you can turn. So you can look towards the left, you can look towards the right or chin down if you want to add a little neck. Take 3 long, deep breaths. Really trying to breathe into all those spaces that you can feel as you twist. One more. And then slowly unwrap yourself. Again, you can kind of lean to the left and just drop that left shoulder. We didn't do that on the first side. And then as you're ready, we're going to twist to the left. So I'm going to grab outside my right thigh. It doesn't have to be the biggest twist you've ever done. My hand is on my sacrum just to allow my kind of sacrum to maybe dilate a bit. So imagining it to be like squishy and soft and buoyant in the tissues. My collarbone's wide and I'm twisting behind the navel. So from those deep, deep muscles without force. And my head can do whatever it wants to do. So I could even be turning it, rolling it. I want you to see if you can breathe into all the spaces around the torso, so the front, the back. One more breath. And then unwrap yourself. Nice. And just kind of, again, turning, twisting. I'm going to come off the block. So we've been sitting for a while, so you might need to take a minute to let some circulation come back into your feet. So we're going to come to a wall space if you have it. If you don't have it, friends, it's totally fine. I'm going to give you an option. And if you have any kind of injury going on where this doesn't work, you can do the same thing without your shoulders. So just kind of watch for what to do. So my right leg is going to step forward, and I'm like probably 12 to 16 inches from the wall, but it's really going to depend on your own flexibility. So I'm going to extend, so my right leg is forward, my left arm goes back. So one thing to pay attention to, make sure the shoulder joint is behind the chest. So if I need to get closer, I will. I can get closer and I might get intensified stretch. So my palm is facing the wall or it's facing up and I'm on the pinky side of my hand. Okay, so this is going to be if you're using the wall. Right hand will come to chest to kind of bring it forward and I'll do a neck release to my right. So I'm in a high lunge. Okay, friends, if you don't have a wall, then I want you to come into a high lunge and you're going to do a neck release here. So I'm just going to kind of put my hand on my shoulder just to kind of bring it down. And I'm going to do a neck release. And I'm going to breathe where my hand is. Okay, so I'm doing this without it. I could even do a half bind if I want, if that would work. I can even just take my hand back, right, with my own strength. So I want you just to find something that works. And we're going to take 10 breaths here. So really feel your legs, the strength of your legs holding you up. Feel that slight lift out of your pelvis so that your core can help hold you up. Then I'm just getting heavy to that right side. Where my hand is, I want to really saturate with breath. Trying to dissipate any tension in the front of the chest, the neck, the jaw. So even moving your jaw around. Yeah, so much tension gets stored up here, especially in times of change when we try and kind of grit down, right? And we can't help it. That's just sometimes how we're programmed. So we just kind of let it go through our intention and our movement. Let's take 2 more big breaths, you guys. Feel the strength of your legs. So listen to how it will come out. Right hand comes to the temple to lift the head. Then I'll release the arm as I step forward. Then if you had your left arm back, bend the knees, lean to the left a bit, and swing the arm. Imagining that your wrist is so much heavier than any part of your body. So again, it just allows that whole shoulder area to release. If that doesn't feel good, you can come forward and you can do a circle in front, where you kind of allow the arm to go in a circle and kind of like you're hanging from the joint. This should release the upper back. So if you tend to carry more tension there, you can do that. All right. And then when you're ready, we'll roll up and we'll do the second side. So it's going to be the left leg forward and the right leg back. So again, my shoulder is behind me. My palms on the wall are facing up. If I want a different sensation, that'd be the pinky line on the wall. My right hand comes to my upper back or my chest, and I'm just kind of drawing it forward. So I kind of separate and kind of give some dilation to the front chest, armpit area. And then I'll drop left ear to left shoulder. And I'm saturating it with breath. So I'm not trying to pull or yank on anything. If I'm in my left side lunge, without that, I can even take the hand back without a wall, or do a neck release, or I can go a half bind. All of those work, friends. And then you're really just feeling the strength of your legs and your core. And then after you've gotten that, you're just going to really allow yourself to dissipate any tension there, or just saturate it with breath. Slowing it down before we move. Okay. Kind of just noticing the landscape there. What feels tight? What feels good? Where can you feel your breath? Okay, last deep breath, 1 or 2. Remember, as you step forward, the hand comes off the wall and you're going to step in. Then you'll decide if you want to kind of lean to the side and maybe the arm swing feels good here, or maybe you liked coming forward and giving that release to the shoulder there. So it's just gravity. We just imagine the wrist is really heavy and we're not necessarily moving with a whole lot other than just like the gravity and natural movement. So there's not a lot of bicep, anything that happens. Okay. And then when you get ready to stand up, you can come to the top edge of your mat, maybe shimmy out the shoulders, just kind of notice how they feel. We'll continue working them as we warm up through the legs. So if anyone has any kind of shoulder thing going on, you can always just kind of change it up, let it go completely, and just kind of, again, breathing there, because your breath's powerful. So even just using the breath can be just as powerful as doing the stretch, right? As you're ready, inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bend the knees and fold forward. Take your time on this first one. So shake the head out if you want to pedal the legs. And then as you're ready, come up to a halfway lift. Place your hands on your waist so that you can, again, lift the chest, feeling the front and the back body lift. And then kind of leaning into that right side, step your left leg back. Then lean forward a bit, turn the pelvis to the left, just slightly, so you unload that right frontal hip and come into a high lunge. Arms can float back and then they can float forward. So just kind of opening the chest nice and softly forward. So it can just be like a floating movement. If you want to do a full circle, you certainly can, if that feels better. Just a few breaths here. Again, softening this front hip. So as we're opening it, we're just softening. Take a deep breath and the arms can rise up, and then exhale, drop to that left knee. For a moment, back up, find your core strength. So reach up to the left side so you feel that whole left frontal hip reach up. And then go ahead and let the hips release forward. And then from here, you can allow the palms to press. And you can round upper back. And then you can inhale, open the chest. Exhale, palms. You're opening up shoulder blades and then arms. Exhale, inhale, exhale. Almost like cat-cowing through the shoulder blades. And then if that feels good, round the back, come forward. Come up, breathe. So I'm rolling the pinky side back. And it's okay for the scapula to lift a bit. Just keep it connected to the core, one more breath. And as you exhale, hands down to the floor. So I'm gonna put a block under my left palm. And I'm gonna let the hips come forward. My right arm will reach forward. Then I'll do a big circle as I reach up and back. A couple more times, reach forward. We've done this week, so really opening up as you come back. Couple more. And again, I can just allow my shoulder to round. I can just do that twist, start really slow. So if I've got some shoulder issues, I can twist and release. One more. And then kind of come into a twist, turning away and opening up your arms. So it's kind of a higher twist. You can also come here, friends, if the arms lifted don't work. Take another deep breath. And then on the exhale, hands to the floor, you can move your block away. Downward facing dog. Pedal the legs again, your first down dog. Remember, cat-cow is a great option. As you're ready, come forward to plank pose. First plank, so take your time here. Broadening through the shoulders as you drive from the shoulders into the hands. Feeling the pelvis lift up towards the back body so you can feel some space in the front of your thighs. Can you capitalize on that? So instead of feeling the thigh bones heavy in the front of the hips, can you feel them kind of soft and spacious? Come forward, chaturanga, if you want, to your belly. We're gonna do a rolling cobra. So I'm gonna take my hands slightly forward and I'll pull back. Then I'm gonna lift the right chest, lift the left, drop the right chest, drop the left. Then I'll go from the left. So it's just a small movement. The shoulders continue releasing back. One more. And then as you're ready, press back, child's pose. We'll take the right arm to the small of the back, and we'll lean over to the left so that our bicep finds our side of our head. And we'll just twist, just gently. You can also have the hand closer as a fist if that's too much stretch. Breath in and breath out. Switch arms, right arm forward, left arm can come to the small of the back. And again, I kind of turn so that my head is held in the bicep. You can wiggle side to side as you're ready. Then release both arms forward, come up to all fours, downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. And then step your right leg forward again. Spin your back heel flat so that you're in a warrior one stance. So take your time as you come all the way up. And then you're gonna take that right arm across your body to stretch. So again, I'm gonna hook it with my left arm. See if that works. Drop that right shoulder, broaden through your right collarbones. If I want to let the head go, I can. Find your strong legs. One more deep breath. Okay, as you're ready, step the left leg in a bit. We're going to take the right arm out to the side, inner rotate it to come to the small of the back. With our left arm, we'll reach up and we're going to hinge forward, reaching just to the top of the shin. So instead of pulling the right shoulder blade back, let it dilate long, and then turn from behind your left waist to the right. So I might look down for that. So I'm turning from the waist, not the hips. So I'll keep drawing the right hip back. I'll keep just a gentle twist without the shoulders getting involved. One or two more breaths. Then as you're ready, left arm forward, come all the way up, releasing your arms, both arms up, step forward. Breathing in and then exhaling, hands to the heart. So just kind of feeling out those first moves. One more round on the opposite side to kind of release the shoulder tension. As your arms are up, deep breath in. Exhale, forward. And once again, just kind of pedaling the legs, letting the head go, shaking out the neck. And then as we're ready, halfway lift, and I'll bring my hands to my waist so I can feel my belly draw back away from my fingers. And as I'm ready, I'm gonna put some weight into the left so I can step the right leg back and coming into a high lunge. And we are just kind of doing that floating forward and back. It can be faster if that kind of helps. We just want to find the legs and relax through the shoulders. So whatever movement is therapeutic for you, you can even be shrugging the shoulders. Maybe for you that helps. Letting the legs kind of sink in, and I'm softening the front of the right hip. Then as you're ready, right knee goes all the way down to the mat. And I'm going to back up for a moment so I can soften the frontal right tissues, and then right arm comes up, and I get a big stretch. Then I'll let the hips come forward. So you can play with whatever works. We were doing a pressing and then a bringing back. So you can play with that, retraction and protraction if that works. Or you can, again, work something else. Could be like some arm swings. So I want you to have the freedom to do what works for you. Just want you to kind of relax through the shoulders. The biggest intention is to find the strength of the legs and to relax any tension in the neck, jaw area. So have some freedom if what I'm showing you doesn't work for you. So one more time, if it's working to press the palms forward and then lift up, go ahead. Sink on in. Feel that kind of lift out of the lumbar spine. And then hands release down to a block. If you have it, if you don't have it, it's totally fine. I'm just using it because for me, it kind of helps. Left arm reaches forward and we do those big shoulder circles. Or we just twist and then we can release the arm. So we can even kind of play with that movement. Breathing. Any way to move the shoulder or just to put the breath through the shoulders. Okay, and then as you're ready, we're going to come up to that open arm twist, dropping through the shoulders, but broadening through the heart. For 3, for 2, and then releasing it down to the floor. And you'll get rid of your block if it's in the way, downward facing dog. Pedal the legs, breathe out. Come forward to plank. We're gonna kind of take the left leg, kick it behind us, up and back. So we get a little rotation here. Left leg kicks up and behind. We're just tapping. Just starting to wake up back body a bit. 1 or 2 more. Come forward, plank, and then come all the way down to your belly. So if you liked the rolling cobras, you can do that. You can even kind of hold on one side for a moment, release and hold on the other. So check out rolling, check out holding, see which one works. Just kind of working different parts of our back. Maybe a couple more breaths to play. Nice, and then as you're ready, press up and back to child's pose. Stagger your arms, so left arm back, right arm forward, and sink. I like to sway side to side. Stretch it out, so left arm forward, right arm pulls back. Sway. And then as you're ready, downward facing dog. We're going to take that left leg forward for warrior 1. So step it out and widen your stance as much as you need. Take your arms to your waist first to find that warrior 1. And then I think it's the left arm that we took across for this time. So as I do that, I want to relax the shoulder and broaden to the collarbones as much as I can. And then again, I can side bend, I can add a neck release. Breathe in and out. Sinking in, finding the legs. Then when you're ready, we're gonna pop the right foot in just a bit. That left arm goes out, we inner rotate it and comes to the small of the back. Right arm comes up, we get that big reach, then we hinge forward and just lower the arm where it naturally would fall. So maybe it's right below the kneecap. So feel that you have two strong legs underneath you, kind of a lifted belly, and then we're gonna turn from behind the left belly towards the left. And I'm not yanking my shoulder back to get a bigger twist, it's all through the core. And I can even gaze down. So it's a very subtle twist. Keep breathing for 3. For 2, keep anchoring through that back leg. And then right arm forward, come all the way up. Second arm comes up to match, step all the way up. Lift up and then exhale, hands to the heart. We're gonna do a little dynamic movement now just to get a little bit more kind of heat through the body. So I want you just to kind of move at whatever pace works for you. So how we did it before, we're gonna hinge forward, we'll sweep that right leg back, and we'll come into a high lunge. We're gonna lift and we're coming to a low lunge. We'll kind of lift up here, and then we're gonna step back, downward facing dog, and then we'll switch. So we'll go a high lunge, to a low lunge, and then we're gonna fold forward. And then we're gonna go all the way down the second side. So I'm just showing it to you, then you can join. So we'll hinge back, and then I'm gonna start with the left leg forward this time, or I think that might have been that last time. Just remember which leg is forward. Okay. So you're just going high lunge, low lunge, down dog, and then you're gonna switch. Low lunge, tuck it under, high lunge, and then you're gonna fold forward. So it doesn't matter how you do it. High lunge, low lunge, keep going. You're just gonna come up and you're gonna come back and you're gonna go whatever pace works for you, right? So you don't have to use arms if the shoulders feel like they wanna break. You can do this just with the legs. So I just want you to create some heat through your legs, okay? So as we're hinging back, we start to strengthen the back body. So maybe paying attention to what leg is forward. We'll have to work our brains here. And just keep breathing. You can always skip the down dog and just keep coming up and down. So if that doesn't work, I can totally just stay high, low, and alternate. So I'm showing you that if I did that, I don't even have to go to down dog. And just kind of lose yourself in your breath and your movement. So it doesn't even matter if you do the same side twice, like, you know, it'll all even out in the end. We're gonna do like one more cycle, so maybe finish one more on each side. And then after you finish one more on each side, we're gonna come and step wide into horse. So finish one more on each side, take your time. Part of this is balance work, right? Like stepping forward, stepping back. So go at a pace that lets you find your balance, so it's okay if you kind of trip up a bit. And then when you're finished with each round, you're gonna come into your horse pose. So toes out, heels in. Yeah, nice work, you guys. I love getting to see you practice. So we're just gonna be bending and straightening. I do have a hip hinge, and I am turning and twisting. So the arms can do this, and they can twist. The arms can hang, and you can let them be just heavy. And I want you just to shuffle side to side, side to side. So I'm weight shifting from the inner arch to the outer arch of my feet as I do this. Hands can be at the waist. I'm gonna give you like 30 seconds just to really build some heat in your legs. Find your core, and as you're turning and twisting, feel that relationship to your pelvis. Your pelvis might turn a good bit, or you might even just feel your pelvis laterally shifting, and it's the waist that turns. So you can just kind of play with that relationship. Halfway there, keep breathing. Lots of good breath. And then when you're ready, coming up to stand, arms come up. And then exhaling into horse pose. Nice. We're going to take a side stretch. And then round and release it. Side stretch, other side. Round and release it. Side stretch. Round and release. Breathe in. Remember, you can do this without your arms. You can just side stretch and round. So I'm showing you that because I know that one of you beauties has some shoulder stuff, so I could totally do this without. Okay. And then one more. And then sink a little further. Arms relaxed. Take some deep breaths, one more. And then straighten the legs. Turn the toes in, take a deep breath. And then exhaling, forward fold. Let the head go. Okay, so we're going to do some dynamic twisting. So you're going to have some choices. One can be to plant a hand, and then you're going to inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So that, and you're going to go slow. And if the exhale feels better to twist, do that. That's option one. Option two can be to start up here and then to tap the floor. So if you want to come up and twist, I want you to find whatever works and find the speed that works. Again, you've got about 30 seconds just to kind of work a dynamic twist. And I want you to really flush it out. So like really dissipate and get some heat moving through your body. So whatever way that works for you. You can even place a block there so that you're tapping a block if going to the floor is too far. And again, I'm turning my waist instead of trying so hard to pull the shoulder blade back. Keep it going. You're almost there. I'm already feeling the sweat. Okay. And we'll do one more on each side. And then come all the way down, hip hinge, shake your head out. We're going to twist and hold. So left arm down, right hand to the small of the back. That's one way to twist, or hand to the waist. And then you're going to turn and twist to the right. If you want the arm to come up, of course you can. You can half bind. You can even take the arm over your head. So I want you to find a variation that works. We're going to hold 5 breaths. So right hip away from the right shoulder, you can look down. From behind the right navel, you're turning and twisting. And then release. Let it go. So you're just in a supported forward fold. So you can have your hands on the floor on blocks. You can grab your elbow creases. You can grab behind your head. And then we're going to slow it down. One more breath. Right arm plants or come to the fingertips if you need more space. Hand to the waist. That's the most gentle variation to turn and twist to the left. Lots of variations from there. So you can lift your chest a little more, look down. So finding what works. From behind the left navel, feeling that lifting and twisting. I can look down, support. Couple more really big breaths. Nice, and then let it go. Hands to the floor, shake it out. Shake it out. Then turn towards your front leg, downward facing dog. Pedal your legs. All right. We're going to take a deep breath, and as you're ready, you're going to step the right leg forward between your hands, left knee to the mat. For the first few moments, if you have blocks, Place your hands on blocks and lift your chest. So we're getting a deep stretch that left hip. So a couple notes about your pelvis. Turn it slightly to the left to unload your right hip. And again, can you feel a softness at the front of the left hip? So kind of imagining that it's not taut there or it's not full, but then there's like this spaciousness that's coming in. So it's not forced. Even softening the right front of the hip as well, of the leg that's in the bent knee position. Maybe you're lifting up through your chest. For 3. For 2. So I'm going to place the block down for this next one. I'm going to move the right block. So I'm going to take the right arm forward. I'm going to take it up for a twist. And I might just stay right here for this twist, or I could bring my heel back, grabbing the big toe side of the foot. Then I might back up a bit so I can turn and twist, and then soften the left hip down and forward. So you might want to strap to lasso around your ankle. Remember, you don't have to grab the foot at all. So I could just reach my arm back, bring my heel back, and just see what happens. So we have 3 more breaths here. Bring the left shoulder behind you so there's no tension through the shoulders. You can look down or let your neck go. Okay, 1 more breath. And then as you're ready, releasing this out. Hands are going to go to the floor, and we're going to pop that back heel up, and we're going to come back into that high lunge pose. High lunge pose. Then taking the hand behind the head. So I'm going to relax the shoulders a bit so I don't feel them lifting up. I'm going to take a deep breath and kind of lift a bit through the core. So I'm not actually pulling myself up by the shoulders, but by the core. I'm going to stretch to the right. I'm holding my head. Kind of wrapping that right armpit under a bit so that I have a little bit more. Now I'm going to scoop. So the right lung's going to come forward a bit and the left lung is going to go back. And I'm going to lean my head into my arms. Now I'm going to get a twist here. Might feel a little interesting. You can always put your back knee down for 3. Breathing, kind of lifting up out of that left psoas. 2. Slowly coming up to standing. I'm going to step and fold forward and grab a block. Hands to the waist as I come up. So we've been working the left leg. You're going to step on a block. I'm going to show you this facing you. So block or books work. Any surface that you can lift your leg. So I could use 2 blocks if my toes are wrapped off the block. So this is going to require that right hip to be strong. So instead of thinking about hugging the hip, think about drawing the inner thigh line down. So firming up the adductors. This leg is just going to hang. Just hang. And I want to use weight, gravity, to lengthen the front of this left hip. This is a psoas release. So hands can come to the waist or the heart, and I'm just letting the ankle be really heavy. I'm feeling that right inner thigh line super duper strong. There's not a lot of flexion in the knee, it's just heavy. I'm imagining that my ankle has on like those, remember the Jane Fonda things we used to put around our ankles that were like ankle weights? I might still make those, but I certainly remember those from my aerobics days. Got 3 more breaths. 2. Yeah, and then you're going to slowly step off and notice. So what you might notice is the left leg might feel longer than the right. So it might be kind of like a weird sensation. So we're going to keep working that. We're going to come onto our back. We're going to completely open up that left side. So just come all the way onto your back. Lift up your hips and use a block if you'd like. If you don't have a block, it's totally fine. It's on the sacrum part of your low back, so it's kind of on the top edge of your fleshy glutes, not on the vertebrae at all. So I'm going to bring the right leg in. I can hold behind the hamstring. That left leg is going to come up and it's going to lengthen. I'm going to say point the toes or float, which is flex the toes back but point the foot. And you're going to exhale lower towards the floor without your pelvis changing shapes. Inhale, knee in. Exhale, lengthen through that left inner thigh line. Breathe in. Exhale. It's nice and slow, and I'm not necessarily aiming towards the floor. I want spaciousness in the front of my left hip. So it's however I can get that. So go slow. We have about 3 more. Yeah, kind of allowing this thigh and this arm to kind of hold on to one another. And then this time I'm gonna hold, so it's active, which means my heel is not on the floor. I have a push-pull going on with my right leg. And for 5 breaths, I want you to imagine, not through your force, but just through lengthening through your breath, that your left ankle got further away from your left frontal hip, that muscle released. And so again, it's just super subtle. You're really doing it with your imagination. You're directing yourself with what we call like the subtle body. So that's that mind-body connection that isn't through force, but it's more through direction of energy. So play around with it. You have 2 more breaths. And then if you want to put the foot on the floor for the last breath or 2. See how that feels. For me, sometimes if I'm too high on the block, that hurts my lumbar spine. So I'm going to drag that heel in, both knees come up, and then both feet come down. So just for a moment, just to equalize the low back, go ahead and let yourself settle. And then we're going to lift up and lower it down. Just kind of feel it out. So you might, again, lengthen the left leg, lengthen the right. Mine feels considerably longer on the left, so I'm curious if yours feels like that. We'll see. So we'll try and maybe even that out. So stretch, stretch, stretch. If you want a vinyasa, go ahead and take one by rocking and rolling and coming forward. If you just want to come to down dog or child's pose or a seated stretch for your feet, do that. So shoulder issues and you're not doing down dog, you could stretch your feet. That'd be a great way to connect here. Okay, let's do our second side. As you're ready, we're going to step the left leg forward. I'm going to switch the orientation of my mat. So I've got the left leg forward, and I'm going to turn my pelvis slightly to the right before I release down. And I'm using blocks so that I can lift my chest a little bit. I can decide how high of a setting I want for that. And as I'm allowing my hips to come forward, I want to feel a softness at the front of my right thigh. So if that thigh bone feels like it's kind of pressing firmly into the top of your hip and it doesn't feel good, back your hips up a bit. Now let it be more of a softening that comes forward. Take your awareness to this left hip crease and again, soften that. And again, you're doing this with just your intention. You're not actually physically changing anything through moving. And again, it's just intention and direction of your energy. And it takes time sometimes to develop that kind of muscle memory and that mind-body connection, but it does happen. So just trust yourself. Maybe the blocks go down for the last few breaths. Ankle slightly forward in the knee. And then as you're ready, we're going to place the right hand on the block. My left arm goes forward, and I'm going to turn and twist, bringing my right shoulder back, bringing my left shoulder back. And then I might even back up a bit to reach back. I'm going thumb down to grab the foot. So my hips are back, so I'm not getting a lot of hip flexor stretch. I'm going to find my twist and then soften the hips forward. And you could lasso the foot with a strap. So I could totally do that. I might start with it like so. It's hard to grab. So that I could pull it back a bit. You can put it over my shoulder. So all kinds of options. You have 3 more breaths. And then as you're ready, slowly coming out of your twist, tucking your back toes under, coming into a high lunge. We're going to take our hands up to our head. Once again, creating nice, good space in the front of your hip. So navel pulling back a bit and kind of releasing towards the back of the pelvis helps that. We're going to side stretch to the right. So trying to keep that left elbow slightly forward instead of down will kind of help keep the scapula kind of hugged onto the rib cage. So I'm going to feel myself side stretch. Then I'm going to bring the right lung back and the left lung forward. And I'm going to kind of let my head fall back in my hands so my neck's not doing this twist. It's a very small, subtle twist. Couple more breaths, sink into your legs. Feel those strong legs underneath you so you can soften your jaw. And then as I'm ready, I'm going to come to the center, release down nice and slow, grab a block as I step forward. This is where the left leg will be on the block. I'm going to show you 2 blocks in case you have longer feet. Do have a space between them for your arch. This helps create a natural arch. Lift of your arch, I should say. So instead of hugging the left hip in, which tends to make the left kind of fascial line taut, think about from your left inner thigh stretching down into your left inner seam. So maybe that helps this move towards your midline without kind of yanking. And then you're just going to let the foot get heavy as you let it go. So breathing, hands can go to the heart if you'd rather. We're just allowing gravity to work. Gravity to work. Breathe. So it's just a little bit of movement, allowing again that frontal right hip to get longer. And then just slowly coming to a stop, stepping off the block, just noticing if you feel anything. Because we did lengthen the first side, sometimes the second side may not feel as drastic. And then we're going to come onto our back. So take your time. We're going to work the right side. So I'm going to place the block low or medium setting, not high setting. So low being flat like this. Medium, not high. If I have one. If I don't have a block, it's totally fine. I bring my left leg in, my clasp, and I have a push-pull, right? So my thighs pushing, my hands pulling, and that just kind of anchors the left kind of core a bit. Right knee comes up, point or floint, and then lower the leg towards the floor without your pelvis changing shape. This is my pelvis changing shape. You can see I've not detached my thigh from my pelvis. Bring the leg up, and then lengthen it back. So I'm keeping my core support there so that I can isolate movement in the thigh from movement in the pelvis. We want to kind of separate those two so that they have their own intelligence. And I'm going as slow as I need to feel that opening. So when life gets stressful or we feel stressed in our life or disconnected from our bodies, oftentimes the psoas muscle, which is what we're opening, can get very tight, can get dehydrated, can feel like it's overworking to kind of hold. We want to release that because this is a very creative muscle. It's a muscle that moves us forward. It's a muscle that's deeply connected to our core strength, right? So we want it to be supple. On this last one, release it out. And just holding it, and then with your awareness, with your mind-body connection, imagine your right ankle getting further away because of the softness of that muscle, the buoyancy, the hydration. So maybe you sigh. If it doesn't move at all or you don't sense it does, it's totally fine, you guys. You're just putting that intention there, paying attention to your body, breathing. Never estimate how healing just the presence of your mind with your body can be. So even if there's no change that you discern, there is change. And as you're ready, the ankle can come to the floor if that feels good. Maybe you stay or maybe you immediately bring it in. We'll come to that supported push. Breathe in and out. So we're going to twist to integrate. So when you're ready, come out, and I'm going to put the block between my legs. So I can have knees over ankles or straight legs, arms out to the side, palms down or palms up. Active feet as I twist to one side, and then I'm going to inhale, twist to the other side, trying to keep the shoulders down. So you'll have much better success at that with bent knees
but you might want more of a challenge. So I am turning my pelvis. I'm keeping the shoulders heavy and anchored. Feeling my core as I rotate. We're going to do a couple more active ones on each side before we rest. And then as you're ready on this second side, if you can come all the way to the floor, you can. You don't have to. Straighten your top leg. Just straighten it. If you don't touch it, that's okay. Allow that left scapula to open. You can turn away if you want. Bend both knees. Use your core strength to lift up and then over to the other side. Straighten that right leg. The block's not helpful, you can let it go. Press through that heel. Active twist. Okay, one more breath. Bend those knees, come up. Okay. Take the block away, rock and roll, vinyasa if you want it. We have a few more shapes we're gonna work. Then I got inspired on Thursday. James reminded me of a pose that I was like, oh, we're gonna do that today. So we're gonna get a good yummy release at the end. So coming into down dog. We're gonna take that right leg and lift it up. And then come forward into pigeon pose. And I'll show you a variation if that doesn't work. So knee is outside the mat, heel is towards the left hip point. I'm gonna tuck left toes under and walk that left leg back. So for some of us who won't be able to come up, that just doesn't work, so you can come forward to your forearms and lift your chest this way. If this is not working for your knees, bring your right leg forward, come back to that lunge, right? And we're gonna work kind of that back bend here. If it does work to come into pigeon, we're gonna, and you can come up to your hands, we're gonna come up to our hands and lift a bit. And again, I want you to feel that pressing down of the shin happening and that buoyancy of the core. So just kind of imagining if you were to get lighter without yanking or holding anything, how could you kind of lift from your pelvic core all the way up towards your chest while softening the hip flexors here, even though they're active, right? Or they're stretching. Maybe the arms come up. Maybe your hands are on blocks. You have 5. And then coming on down. Option to twist, so left forearm down, right hand to the thigh to twist. You can reach on back and grab that foot again if that felt good. Lots of options. I can just turn my hand, right? So find 5 more breaths just like that. So again, opening to the heart, shoulders are back, so they're not by my ears. Letting that softness happen at the left hip crease. Nice, one more breath, and then let it go. Hands are gonna come up, so here's a little fun for you guys. So the right leg is gonna come up. We're gonna bend the knee and roll the hip. Bend the knee, roll the hip. So I'm gonna show you flip dog, and I'm gonna show you another way to get there that might be easier. So bend that left knee and turn the left hand out. Now keep the hips high as you release the right and step the right foot down, lift, and you're in a little back bend here. If that seems a little crazy, do this on your knee, and you can be here. It can be a little back bend. It's kind of funny. Fun. Yell out if you have questions. Yeah, just kind of flip your dog. Then right into the second side when you're ready. So we'll go right into that second side. So left foot forward. I'm going to kind of show you a different profile. Tuck your right toes under, walk that foot back, top of the foot. And again, if this is hurting my lumbar, I don't want to battle that. I can kind of come towards more of a cobra here. It can just be subtle. And I can just work this from this position. If I can bring my hands forward, maybe that's it, or back behind me. Remember, foot flat lunge is also a great variation if this is bothersome for the knees. Maybe I'm walking my hands back. So I can feel a lot of holding in the hip flexor. So can you lengthen at the same time you're lifting from the pelvic floor? And again, it's just like a subtle lift as if you imagine through your center channel, just kind of a lengthening happening towards the crown of your head. It's very, very subtle. There's no gripping, right? Just imagining that you're letting your legs hold you up. So feeling the bony structures for 2 more breaths. And then you're gonna come on down and twist. So that can be turning your right fist to face your knee, left hand to the thigh. It could be reaching around and grabbing that foot, similar to what we did in the lunge. You'd be repeating that if you're in a flat-footed lunge. And you have 3 more breaths there to twist however it feels good to you. One more giant breath in, and then releasing it to downward facing dog. Once again, that flip dog, the left leg comes up. You could just stay here, bending the knee, rolling the hip. That can be a nice variation. Or bend the right knee, turn the right palm out. First, just tip the left, keep the hips high as you drop the foot, and then straighten the right leg. If that was a little scary, kickstand the right leg, straighten the left, and you can do that side bend or that back bend in this position. Very similar. Come out when you need to. Vinyasa flow, so plank, chaturanga, or cat-cow, or foot stretch with shoulder rolls, right? Can look a lot of different ways. Okay. We're going to come to a wall space if you haven't, and if you don't, you can do this at your mat without it. So, James, I'm not there to push you to the wall, so I know you can do this. So I'm going to use my mat. You could use a blanket at the wall too. If you just have a lower surface to the wall, that works. But if you don't have anything, I want you just to go into a different lunge. You still might need a blanket. So we'll go with the left side first. So we're going to take that knee flush to the wall, and my ankle is behind my hip. Now I can stay with my front shin down, and I can work this. Or if I can get foot to the mat, I'll go foot to the mat. Now this is an intense pose, you guys. Like, it is not for the weak of heart. So be gentle with yourself. If you're able to come up, great. So first we back the hips to the wall, then we'll release. And we can bring the hands forward and the hip can go away. Okay, so first we're trying to get hip towards the wall. So here's the option if you don't have a wall space and you're like, I can't do that. Foot down, you're gonna sit, and then you're gonna lift the hips, and you're gonna walk your hands back. So this works. So this being on your belly. So we want to get this long. Okay? So first hip towards the wall. First hip towards the wall. Long deep breaths, you guys, because this is intense, right? So I'm showing you away from the wall just in case you're not accessible to a wall. Soften your jaw, exhale out through your mouth. You can always ask if you have questions. You can unmute yourself. Okay, now you're gonna let your hip come away from the wall. So like this, it's more like a lunge. Maybe you're gonna come up to your thigh, but a lot of us will just keep the hands down. If you were on the block, you might now lift your hips, like so. If you were on your belly, because you chose that version, I could lift the foot. These are all just different variations of the same pose. Okay, take 3 more bigger breaths. Whew. Okay. Slowly come out. Take a moment to be with yourself because that can really shake things up. It's pretty intense. We're going to do a standing split. So you can stand up if you want. We're going to hinge forward. We'll lift that left leg up. That's the leg that we just opened. Totally fine for your pelvis to turn to the right a bit from your right inner thigh line and reach to that left inner thigh line. That's the left leg that's up in the air. So I'm just going to watch you guys. Yeah, nice work, you guys. You can use the wall as well if you want. Yeah, good job. Okay, you have 3 more breaths. Come on down. If you have the wall, you can forward fold at the wall. If you're sitting bones there, if you're away from the wall, just sway. Great job. Okay, final side. Right knee flush to the wall. Your shin on the front leg, that your left leg can stay down, and you can back your hips up towards the wall. If I'm able to get my foot, woo! The big one, I haven't done this one in a while either. I can try to back my hips up. Maybe my chest comes up. So important that you're breathing, and so important that you're not forcing yourself into something too deep. So come to your block. Remember, we were doing this on the block, so this is a great variation. Lots of good breathing going on, lots of good exhaling. You're almost there. And now we let the hips come away from the wall, so it's more like a low lunge, so you can let your hips follow you. Once again, you could definitely come up, but you could also stay down. You could even twist if you wanted. I didn't say that on the first side, but good. Last few big breaths. Then come out really carefully. So you might put your shin out, bring both feet. And then coming into the forward fold for standing split. So the left leg is your base. I'm rooting to that left inner thigh line, and the right leg comes up, maybe even to a walk. Then I reach from my right groins all the way out to my right inner foot. So again, that same lengthening away like we did in our back and on the block. Last couple breaths. Nice work. And then just take it to a forward fold. Awesome work, you guys. I'm going to show you the last final twist that we'll do on our back before we rest. I would recommend a strap and maybe even a block. How it works is you're going to take that strap above your foot, and you're going to let it come towards the floor or towards the block. I'm going to show you a block. Then if it's possible, I'll reach and grab the big toe side of my bottom leg, and this is where I'll rest. Shoulders open. May not work to grab the foot. Totally fine just to stay here. Release to that hip. Some of you won't need the block. Go ahead and lasso your right foot. Take it across your body. You can just work the twist too. Like nothing wrong with just working the twist. Then reach it, if you can, reach, grab the left big toe side of the foot. This could come to the floor. So the closer your right toes are towards your nose, the more sensation to the right lateral hip you might get. So you could play with that. So softening your jaw as you totally let this twist, just integrate all the work we've done today to twist, to open the frontal hip, to relax the shoulders, to process. Okay, last breath. And then slowly, if you have your foot, let it go, bring that right leg up. You can bend and straighten or take it out and in for a moment before you switch. So again, deciding if you need a block under your thigh. So as you first twist, and this would be, you'll know that because your low back feels like it's getting pulled the closer the foot goes to the floor. So for a lot of us, that's not a very comfortable position. So the block or a pillow under your foot or thigh will be helpful. Reach with your left hand to grab the right side and side edge foot. And then I'm relaxing my shoulders on my back. And then just relaxing my jaw, breathing. It's a big outer hip. Nice deep breaths. You have your foot, let it go. Take your leg all the way up. Release. So maybe a happy baby, a Baddha Konasana. I want to give you a few moments to kind of stir around. So in the chat, I put a link, East Forest, which is one of my favorite musicians. He makes a lot of healing music. He had released a new album that you can stream with some guided meditations, but also he has some music meditation. So I put one in there that you might like if you want to play that for the last few minutes. It's in the chat. Let me know if you don't see it. If you don't want to do it, it's totally fine. If I play it, it sounds weird. That's why I can't stream it for you. I don't think. Maybe I can. I guess I could try it. See if I stream that while I talk to you. But I want you to get cozy, so don't worry if it doesn't work. And if it's not there, yeah, I think it's there. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can. Otherwise, actually, I won't do that in case it's interfering with you guys. So when you're ready, move around in your space as much or as little as you need, and then find a comfortable place to just kind of take in the process. Yes, I will read first. Because it might not have, let's see. Okay, well, it's music.eastforest.org, and the song is Still. So music.eastforest.org, and it's Still. It won't let me cut and paste it again. So don't worry if you don't have it. You can try it out later. He is a great artist. So just finding your place to relax, finding your breath, settling in. Oh, thanks, Lauren. I appreciate that. You're so good about always doing that. Yeah. So it's the still music meditation, not the one that has words. So at first, just kind of scanning your body for any lingering, maybe holding or tension that you can let it go. Softening your face, your belly. And then just really letting yourself receive the natural processing and integration of your practice, which means that you trust your body's innate wisdom to process, to connect dots, to simplify, to integrate how we've moved in our bodies so that that may be applicable to our lives in whatever mysterious ways that that will work. Opening your awareness to receive in kind of some energy healing through the music, through my intention, our collective gathering, and from nature, right? Nature is always offering us healing medicine. There is that wisdom, right, available to us all the time, anytime. So just allow yourself to receive it in however you might be able to do that. I'm going to send it to you from my heart as well.
Allow yourself to find your spine. So just feeling your spine. Breathing a few breaths of feeling connected to the core of you. Touching your belly and your heart with your hands, taking a couple of breaths to integrate the wisdom of your core, the wisdom of your heart. And take the hand off your belly and place it across your eyes, integrating the wisdom of your mind, your intuitive wisdom with your heart wisdom. And then rub your hands together. Kind of create some prana in your hands, energy. And then placing your hands over your eyes so that we may be guided with new energy, right? That may not be the same way we've seen it, but we'll feel it. We'll know it in new ways. And then releasing your arms as softly as you want to come up, as quietly. Come on up. I'm going to spritz you with some peace, uniting all of your intelligences, allowing you to feel that calm sense of strength and groundedness and softness and heart-centeredness. Thank you for practicing, dear friends. I hope that you feel good in your bodies and that we can all trust ourselves through these new ways in which we're re-entering the world. And that we may take the time to simplify, right, and to sort and get rid of things we don't need and really anchor into those things that feed us and that give us those delights that we're so worthy of. Have an awesome, awesome week.